This year, for the first time, we're welcoming the Coalition for Women in Journalism to present their annual prize, the Cathy Gannon Award. Now, this award celebrates Cathy Gannon, a veteran correspondent who broke barriers in our industry while covering some of the most vital and important stories of her time, all with deep compassion and integrity. Now, the award tonight honours distinguished women journalists who continue her legacy by breaking new barriers that come with journalism today. Before we hear from their founding director, let's take a look at some of the work that they do. Please welcome to announce founding director Kiran Nazish.
Thank you, everyone. We are so honored to be here presenting the prestigious 2024 CFWIJ Cathy Gannon Legacy Award at the Rory Peck Awards. At the CFWIJ, we are in gratitude for the Rory Peck Trust to host this award. A great gesture of friendship in our industry. A very special thank you to John Williams for letting us host this award here, and also a very deep thanks to all the team of Rory Peck Trust. Let me announce the amazing winners receiving the award. Sky News presenter Saima Mohsin. Saima has spent almost 3 decades in the field with curiosity and compassion. It is on the front line almost a decade ago. In 2014, she was injured in Jerusalem, which briefly altered the trajectory of her career. Soon enough, when Saima got back on the screen, it wasn't easy. I have witnessed Saima move through a difficult time, working her way, often in pain, but with great integrity and talent. Today, we can't be prouder to recognize Saima Mohsin's long career and her fight for justice for journalists injured on the front line. Our next winner, PBS News correspondent Leila Molana-Allen. If you have been following Leila's work, you know that in her remarkable career, she has a skill to reach places often hard to access. In her long career, she has covered some of the most difficult conflicts with great compassion and courage. Most recently, Leila has been organizing HEFAT trainings for her colleagues who do not get access to safety trainings and have been covering the ongoing raging conflicts in the Middle East. We recognize Leila for her devotion to camaraderie and going the extra mile to show up for her colleagues. Both these journalists perfectly represent Cathy Gannon's legacy, who herself spent her lifetime of compassionate coverage, but also always showed up for her colleagues. Before we meet our winners, let's hear from Cathy Gannon herself.
It is a deep honor to be recognized by the Coalition for Women in Journalism, an organization that is mighty. Its founder, Kiran, is relentless in her defense of women journalists. She is cowed by no one. The Coalition fiercely defends women, LGBTQIA+, and minorities. Kiran has tirelessly turned the organization into a truly powerful voice. It is an honor to be mentioned in the same sentence with today's award winners. Saima Mohsin. Saima, you remind us all of what strength and courage looks like, that it is not about bullying or might is right, but it is about deep commitment to justice, to refusing to allow the more powerful to dictate, and to pushing forward every day, even when the mountains you are climbing seem epic. When you stood up against discriminatory practices, you stood up for all of us. We owe you a debt of gratitude, Saima. Leila Molana-Allen, your compassion for those about whom you report and those with whom you work inspires us all to think beyond ourselves. It takes a special heart to experience the many dangers that come with reporting on conflicts, the relentless threats to your safety, to then decide it's not just your safety that matters, but those with whom you work. You didn't just talk about it. You organized safety training for journalists who otherwise had no access to it. Your caring heart reminds us what community really means and how it makes us all stronger, all safer. Huge congratulations to you both. I only wish I were there. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to both the winners. I welcome on the stage Saima Mohsin and Leila Molana-Allen.
We didn't confer, but it's great to know there's a uniform. That's comforting.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Twins, meant to be.
Thank you so much to the Coalition for Women in Journalism for this honour, and to the Rory Peck Trust for hosting this powerful evening. Thank you for all you both do to keep our community safe. And with journalists under assault every day now, it's more important than ever. A group of journalists in press vests were fired on by the ADF just yesterday in Lebanon, and 2 were injured, just hours after the ceasefire supposedly came into effect. It's an honour to win this in Cathy's name. As young women in the field, we're so lucky to follow in the footsteps of a generation of groundbreaking female journalists like her, and several of them are in this room. I'm grateful to my wonderful editors at the PBS NewsHour, who put so much faith into me to go off and pursue the stories that I think we need to be reporting on. I'm grateful to my extraordinary parents, Dave and Barry Molana-Allen, who showed me by example what it means to live a life of purpose and service. And it's the deep love, that foundation of security they gave me that I pray for and fight for every child. Those of us who work in war zones know that amidst the danger and the pain, there are many moments of joy and wonder. It's a true privilege to see, at humanity's darkest moments, the fierce love that people have for their families, the passion they have for their land and their culture, and the rage that they have for justice and the rights that they know to be theirs. We also know that it's our local producers on the ground who make our stories. I'm lucky to have very close relationships with many of mine and their families, and it's those connections that allow me to produce such intimate reporting. So it's them, our local producers, and the people in our stories that I want to thank most. The people who welcomed me into their homes on the worst days of their lives and gave me that deep trust. I hope I did you justice, and I'll continue to try doing that. Right now, of course, it's our teammates and freelance journalists in Gaza who are doing that work. And it's heartening to see so much of their work recognised tonight, and heartbreaking to remember the far too many that we've already lost. They are waking up every day to go out and report, not knowing whether they'll come home and whether their families will be alive when they do. They won't stop, because for 14 months we have not been allowed into Gaza to relieve them. And they can't stop, because if they do, there will be silence. So if this award is about humanity in reporting and supporting our community, I'd like to use it to honour our fellow journalists in Gaza. We see you. We stand with you. I am humbled to call you my colleagues, and I'm honoured to call you my friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks for that introduction. This award means a lot for many, many reasons, not least because I fell asleep watching the 9 o'clock news after my father died, and my mother was obsessed with the news, and I watched those incredible journalists in the field and knew that one day I wanted to be one of them. And next year I mark 30 years too, since I first walked into a newsroom, and 25 years of being in television. And this happens to be my first individual award, so about time. Once, as you've witnessed the repeated conflict and injustice around the world, and you get to my age of almost 50, you start to become disillusioned about the work you do and the impact you have. And as Leila has so eloquently said, it is all about the people you meet who allow us into their homes at the most vulnerable of times and allow us to witness what they go through and then to share it with the world. And that, for me, is a unique privilege, and I will never forget it and will always be indebted to those people, because after all, it is about those people that we meet. For me, journalism is solely about speaking the truth, and I have always tried to do that with humanity, integrity, and empathy. It's about knowing what they are going through. And the words of the panel recognising that in my work really reminded me that I have been doing the right thing, and we all are, everyone here tonight and all our colleagues around the world. A particular low point for me is, as Kiran mentioned, in my career, was when I was injured in the field on assignment. And I only realised when I was receiving this award that Cathy Gannon and I were injured in the same year, even though we've talked for many years about our pain and the treatments we've endured and what we've both been through. But we both received very different treatment by our organisations. And the fact that the Coalition for Women in Journalism has recognised my continued battle in court really means a lot. If you don't know about it, please do look it up, because I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for all of us who risk our lives working in the field. And today we have seen that happen time and time again on these screens. And I'm sure in newsrooms around the world, we know of all our colleagues who do that. Those who have lost their lives, but those who have been injured and continue to live with those injuries. As journalists, we are meant to be the voice for the voiceless. And I really hope that what I am doing encourages others to stand up for themselves too. My thanks to Sky News for bringing me back after 4 years off screen to the career and journalism and the people that I love. It's such a great team there. And thank you, Sky News, for working with me and my disability. Glad to know I do have the face you are looking for. So, finally, I want to thank Rory Peck Trust and the Coalition for Women in Journalism for all you do for freelancers and women journalists around the world. I share this award tonight with you all. You don't really need an award for all the hard work you're doing. It is being recognised, I promise you, and I know this tonight now, but it does feel bloody good to get an award. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
What absolutely fantastic speeches. Congratulations to you both. And if I may just be a little bit trivial for a moment, I want one of those pink velvet suits, please.